Welcome to Moments in History channel. Have you ever heard of a time in history so brilliant, so filled with innovation and beauty, that it's called a golden age? That's exactly what the Gupta Empire was for India. From around 320 to 550 CE, this incredible dynasty didn't just rule. It illuminated the world with its achievements in art, science, and culture. So let's journey back in time and explore what made the Gupta period so truly golden. Our story begins with a king named Chandragupta I. No, not the famous Chandragupta Maurya, who founded an earlier empire, but another visionary leader who laid the groundwork for this new dynasty. He established a kingdom in the fertile plains of northern India, setting the stage for his successors to build something truly spectacular. And build they did. His son, Samudragupta, was a military genius and a patron of the arts. He's sometimes called the Napoleon of India, for his extensive military campaigns that expanded the empire across much of the subcontinent. But he wasn't just a conqueror. He was a poet and a musician, a true Renaissance man before the Renaissance even happened. Imagine a king who could lead armies to victory and then return to his court to compose beautiful poetry. That was Samudragupta. The empire reached its absolute peak under his son, Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya. His reign is the one most people think of when they hear Golden Age of India. He defeated powerful rivals, secured the empire's borders, and ushered in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity. It was during this time that the Gupta Empire became a beacon of civilization, attracting scholars, artists, and merchants from all over the known world. So what was life like in this Golden Empire? For starters, the economy was booming. Agriculture was the backbone, with sophisticated irrigation systems ensuring bountiful harvests. But the Guptas were also master traders. Their merchants traveled the famous Silk Road by land and sailed the Indian Ocean, connecting India with Rome, China, and Southeast Asia. Spices, textiles, and precious gems flowed out of India, while gold, silk, and other luxury goods flowed in. The empire even had its own standardized gold and silver coins, a clear sign of a stable and well-managed economy. This wealth and stability created the perfect environment for culture to flourish. And flourish it did. The Gupta era saw a major revival of Hinduism. Magnificent stone temples were built, adorned with intricate sculptures of deities like Vishnu and Shiva. These weren't just places of worship, they were masterpieces of architecture and art, showcasing a new level of skill and aesthetic refinement. The famous Dashavatara temple at Deoghar is a stunning example of this, with its detailed carvings telling stories from Hindu mythology. But while Hinduism was on the rise, the Guptas were famously tolerant. Buddhism and Jainism continued to thrive, with monasteries and stupas being built and supported by the rulers. A Chinese pilgrim named Faxian, who visited India during this time, wrote detailed accounts of a peaceful and prosperous society where different faiths coexisted harmoniously. This cultural explosion wasn't limited to religion. Literature reached a pinnacle of elegance and sophistication, with Sanskrit becoming the language of the court and the learned. And when you talk about Sanskrit literature, one name stands above all others: Kalidasa. Often called the Shakespeare of India, Kalidasa was a poet and playwright of unparalleled genius. His plays, like Shakuntala, and his epic poems like Meghaduta or The Cloud Messenger, are celebrated for their lyrical beauty, emotional depth, and profound humanism. They're timeless classics that are still read and performed today, a testament to the enduring power of Gupta-era storytelling. But perhaps the most mind-blowing achievements of the Gupta period were in the fields of science and mathematics. This is where the Golden Age truly shines. Think about the number system you use every day: 1, 2, 3, and so on, all the way up to 9, and then 0. That crucial concept, the idea of 0 as a placeholder and a number in its own right, was developed and formalized by Gupta-era mathematicians. This wasn't just a small step, it was a giant leap for humanity. Without 0, modern mathematics, algebra, calculus, and even computer programming would be impossible. They also refined the decimal system, which made complex calculations so much easier. Leading this mathematical revolution was a brilliant scholar named Aryabhata. In his book, the Aryabhatiya, written in 499 CE, he made some astonishing discoveries. He calculated the value of pi to an amazing degree of accuracy. He correctly proposed that the Earth is a sphere that rotates on its axis, and he explained that solar and lunar eclipses were caused by the shadows of the Earth and the Moon. This was over 1,000 years before Copernicus and Galileo came to similar conclusions in Europe. He even calculated the length of the solar year with remarkable precision. These weren't just lucky guesses. They were based on sophisticated observation and mathematical reasoning. The advancements didn't stop there. In medicine, Gupta physicians were far ahead of their time. The Sushruta Samhita, a medical text compiled during this period, is a comprehensive guide to surgery. It describes over 300 surgical procedures and 120 surgical instruments. It details complex operations like cataract surgery, plastic surgery, particularly reconstructing noses, and even setting broken bones. These texts also included knowledge of pharmacology, diet, and hygiene, showing a holistic approach to health that feels surprisingly modern. Imagine a world with universities that were centers of global learning. The great university at Nalanda, which flourished under Gupta patronage, was exactly that. It attracted thousands of students and scholars from as far away as China, Korea, and Persia. They came to study philosophy, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and the arts. Nalanda was more than a university. It was an intellectual powerhouse, a place where knowledge was created, preserved, and shared. So, with all this brilliance, what happened? Why did the Golden Age come to an end? Like all great empires, the Gupta dynasty eventually faced challenges it couldn't overcome. Towards the end of the 5th century, the empire began to weaken from within. Succession disputes and powerful local governors chipping away at central authority created internal divisions. The final blow came from outside. A fierce group of nomadic invaders from Central Asia, known as the Hunas or Huns, began launching repeated attacks on the empire's northwestern frontiers. These invasions were costly, draining the empire's treasury and manpower. Although the Gupta armies fought bravely and managed to repel them for a time, the constant warfare took its toll. By the middle of the 6th century, around 550 CE, the once mighty Gupta Empire had fragmented into a collection of smaller regional kingdoms. The unified political structure that had fostered the Golden Age was gone. But the end of the empire was not the end of its legacy. The light of the Gupta Golden Age was so bright that it continued to illuminate India and the world for centuries to come. The artistic styles, the literary traditions, and the religious ideas that blossomed during this period became the classical foundation for much of Indian culture. The scientific and mathematical breakthroughs, especially the concept of zero and the decimal system, were transmitted to the Arab world and then to Europe, where they fueled the Renaissance and the scientific revolution. They are a fundamental part of the global knowledge system we all share today. The Gupta Empire is a powerful reminder that history isn't just about battles and borders. It's about ideas, creativity, and the human spirit's quest for knowledge and beauty. It was a time when scholars mapped the stars, doctors performed complex surgeries, and poets captured the deepest human emotions. It was an age that truly earned its name, the Golden Age of India. Its legacy is all around us, in the numbers we use, the stories we tell, and the timeless pursuit of a more enlightened world. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Moments in History channel for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments what other historical periods you'd like to explore. See you next time.